We have a tornado alley out in the Midwest, but guess what? We also have one right here in Georgia. Hall County is known as Tornado Alley in the state of Georgia. Hall County businesses and schools have always felt the power of these North Georgia storms. Well, in February, we take the time to let citizens know how they can be alert and be ready when these storms do pop up. Earlier today, I spoke with Fire Chief David Kimbrell about severe weather awareness. Chief, thanks for being with me today.
Sure, anytime.
We're going to be talking about some severe weather awareness and disaster kits and a lot of things that the citizens need to know about. But first, let's get into some terminology, because I know a lot of times, in fact myself, before getting into this business, not knowing between the difference between watches and warnings. So that's probably one of the first things we need to talk about. You know, you do this day in and day out. You're down in the Emergency Operations Center when severe weather does come in. What can you tell us to make sure we know, or the citizens know, the difference in a watch and a warning?
A watch basically means that the conditions are favorable. It means that everything is in place for the possibility of severe weather, whether it be a thunderstorm, a tornado, any other type of watch that's issued. Doesn't mean anything's been spotted, just means that the conditions are there for that. A warning actually means that a thunderstorm or tornado has actually been spotted either by a person or on radar. So when you hear a watch, it just means to, pay attention to the conditions around you, kind of go over in your head what you're going to do. A warning means you actually should be doing your plan.
And you bring up a good point, and this is something that being in emergency services, doing what we do, we see that all too often, that people, when they hear these watches go out, they don't start taking those precautions. They actually wait until a warning, or they wait until they see it themselves, and it's really too late to react then, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, when the weather is nice, or when you have time, is the time to plan and be ready. A watch, you need to be going back over that plan in your mind, and then during a warning, you actually need to put that plan into place. So many times when a warning's issued and severe weather's coming, you hear the telltale train coming, people begin to dial 911 asking what to do. Well, we're just inundated then, so that's not the time to try to figure it out, because everything is so person specific. So now, you're exactly right, is the correct time to be formulating that plan. A watch is when you kind of mull over it in your mind again, and then a warning is you put it in place.
And I don't want to put words into your mouth, but I think our main goal in talking about this topic would be for citizens to know what to do and not to really rely on us or 911, but to do it themselves and put those actions into motion.
Sure. Being prepared is the citizen's responsibility. Responding once it hits is our responsibility. Now we'll assist them in any way, formulating that plan. If they have questions, we'll be glad to give them resources, materials, etc. But every family, every person needs a personal plan on what to do.
And when we think about severe weather, we automatically think about thunderstorms and tornadoes, but we want to get out of the box here, and really severe weather is any kind of weather event, whether it's snow or ice too.
Sure. Snow and ice, the power goes off when the ice storm hits. Snowstorm comes, everybody's going to go get the milk and bread, so you need to pre-plan those type things. But the most common types of severe weather, again, are thunderstorms and tornadoes. But if we're going to talk about kits, I think, in just a minute, that would be more of an all-hazard type approach. So the weather warnings and watches basically are thunderstorms and tornadoes.
Well, with that said, spring and summer is upon us, and let's talk about thunderstorms right quick. What are some of the main things that you see are problems when it comes to severe thunderstorms?
We have, of course, we have a wonderful asset here with Lake Lanier, and so many people are out in the spring and summer enjoying the recreation on the lake or enjoying the recreation in our beautiful parks, and they don't heed the warning when thunderstorms are coming. Thunder doesn't happen unless there's lightning. Lightning is what kills you. The thunder doesn't kill you. The thunder is what alerts us that there's severe weather. So many people don't pay attention to that. They don't see the lightning near them, and they don't think it's going to happen. But lightning can strike even before you hear, or it does strike before you hear the thunder. So many people don't heed that warning.
I've heard that as well from people on the news and weathermen and women, is that thunder travels miles ahead of the storm and also miles after the storm. So if you are close enough to hear the thunder, that means you're close enough to be struck by the lightning.
Sure. You know, the old adage that you learn in school is, if you hear thunder or you see lightning, you count 1001, 1002, every second is a mile away. And that sound will travel much farther than what you can actually see the lightning strike. And you're correct. You'll hear the you'll hear the thunder before the lightning gets there, and you'll also hear the thunder after it's gone. So anytime you hear that, you're in the danger zone.
So we shouldn't stay out on the golf course and finish that golf game. We shouldn't stay out in the yard and try to hurry up and finish cutting that grass.
That's always a risk that you're taking, and we teach people not to take that risk, because you never know. It's not predictable where that lightning strike's going to happen.
And thinking back, I believe we've had a couple of young guys. I know of one particular that has been struck by lightning and actually has to go to, or chooses to go to our burn camp that the Burn Foundation holds as well.
Yes.
So major burns can happen from lightning.
Absolutely. They estimate that a lightning bolt is about 50,000 degrees, and I don't think they've been able to measure the voltage in that lightning bolt. So yes, there are some people that have gone to our camp that's been struck by lightning and survived.
Aside from the thunder and the lightning, of course, with thunderstorms, it's also possible to have a downpour and have a couple of inches of rain as well. Is that a concern here in Hall County? Are there areas that are low-lying that flooding may be a problem with, flash floods?
Absolutely. We are in the mountains, and when the rain falls, it runs to the low-lying areas, so that's a very good area to watch out for. We have some areas in the county that tend to have those flash flood areas more than others. Of course, if you live on the side of a mountain, you're not going to get that flooding potential. But driving in a car, a lot of people don't heed the warnings. There's a saying, "Turn around, don't drown." Basically means not to drive through moving water. You don't know what's under there. You can't see the road. You don't know if the bridge is washed out. You don't know how deep the water is. So a good warning to that is not to drive through moving water.
And a lot of people may not know that in natural disasters, the number one killer in the U.S. is not tornadoes or hurricanes, but it is flooding, and people just don't take heed of that, and they just try to drive through it or whatever. Changing gears a little bit to tornadoes, when you say the word tornado, the first thing that pops into my mind, being the age that I am, is the tornado that hit in 1998. You have dual roles as being our fire chief and our emergency management director. Tell us about the 1998 tornado. I don't believe you were fire chief then. I believe you were fire marshal. But how have we changed, so to speak, as a county when it comes to the tornado in '98?
Hall County is unique in the state of Georgia, and it's not something that we like to brag about, but we've had more tornadoes, more deaths, and more injuries than in any other county in the state of Georgia. Now that can be attributed back to 1903 and 1936 when the big tornadoes came through. But March the 20th, 1998 really hit home to a lot of people, and it's still fairly fresh in our minds, being 10 or 11 years ago. We've improved quite a bit since then. We have a little better technology as far as warning from the National Weather Service. We have a National Weather Service transmitter on Walker Mountain here in Hall County, which was not here in '98. We have weather sirens located throughout the county. Not as many as we need to completely cover, and they are outdoor warning sirens. They're not intended to wake you up at night at home. They're basically, we were talking a few minutes ago about thunderstorms. They're basically to let you know that severe weather is coming if you're outside in the parks or on a football field. So we have, we've improved quite a bit since '98.